streets of Accra, we've got you covered.
We'll take you on a journey through different political systems, exploring the challenges and triumphs of the nations near and far. Hear from world leaders, experts, newsmakers, and everyday citizens as they share their perspective, providing a comprehensive overview of the political landscape. Tune in every Thursday, 4 to 5 p.m. on Hard Facts to be a part of the global conversation on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome to the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're broadcasting live from our audio-visual studios right here in Itimian Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. It's time for Global Review, and today we're going to Burkina Faso. Well, for those of you who've been following, recently the Burkina Faso government banned foreign media over a report that was put out by the Human Rights Watch. And we're going to be talking about it today on the show. But before I introduce my guest, I just want to give you some background into that story. So the Burkina Faso government has suspended yet more foreign media outlets over their coverage of a report accusing its army actually of killing 223 civilians. The report by US-based Human Rights Watch was said to believe that the massacre in February was in retaliation for villagers aiding armed Islamists. The West African nation's military government has denied the allegation. In fact, they've already suspended the BBC and US broadcaster Voice of America for reporting the Human Rights Watch publication. My guest is joining us via Zoom from Burkina Faso. I want to give you some information on her. She's Josiane Ngah. She is the West Africa Democracy Solidarity Works Project Coordinator for Francophone West Africa. She's a regional integration expert in governance and public policy. She's a public policy analyst and a monitoring and evaluation specialist in socio-economic developmental programs. She's got 10 years of experience working with non-profit and international organizations to improve the use of evidence to inform policy and program design and implementation. I want to say thank you, Marie, for joining us today. I know that we've had a little problem with the time difference, but thank God you made it. Thank you for joining us. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening.
Great. For the purpose of clarity and also educating audience, can you tell us exactly why? I mean, we know basically that the BBC and several other media houses have been banned for carrying that report by the Human Rights Watch. But where does the government of Burkina Faso stand on this report, being that you also are someone who works with evidence and, information?
Okay. Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me, right?
Loud and clear.
Okay. So thank you for having me today. You gave a very brief background on the situation right now, being that the Burkina Faso military junta has banned several foreign media institutions over their coverage of the human rights report about an alleged massacre by the army. So it is worth noting that Burkina Faso is a West African nation that has been ravaged by violence by jihadist groups and against government-backed forces, with both sides targeting civilians and causing the displacement of more than 2 million people. So most of those attacks go unpunished and unreported in a nation run by, a repressive leadership that silences perceived dissidents. So maybe on the motive of such a move, since taking power in a coup in 2022, the junta has suspended multiple TV and radio stations and expelled foreign correspondents, especially from French media. So in 2023, there was quite a lot of suspension. I remember the news outlet Jeune Afrique, a French one, was accused of seeking to discredit the military. The reason was that article had a title like "Tensions Testing Burkina Faso Army," And then an earlier one by the same newspaper on the same website in which Jeune Afrique alleged that this content is growing in Burkina Faso, Barak. Even still last year, in 2023, Burkina Faso authorities announced a suspension of the French television channel NCI for 3 months. So we can observe that it's an unusual practice in Burkina Faso. And then, as usual, reactions from the government is that they think that those assertions are very deliberate, made without proof, and that the purpose of those allegations from or those reports and allegations from media is to discredit the national armed force and by extension all fighting forces. So for them, they find it unacceptable. So right now, as you say, there's a ban on currently there is a ban on those different media, and we have observed that a year of military rule has literally shrunk Burkina Faso's media landscape. So a common feature of these, threats are that those media, they cover topics related to Burkina Faso's fight against terrorism or the presence of tension within the army. So it seems like those topics are very sensitive to the junta, and they will not like to have media, interfering or reporting on those issues. And so maybe those can be defined as the reason why Burkina Faso government keep, banning international media. So it's also important to note that that ban is not only on international media, but also on the national
broadcaster.
So
let me come in there, because I wanted to ask, are there any media houses that are kowtowing to the government, that are reporting what the junta wants it to report, or are there also state media that are falling under that hammer that the other foreign medias are falling under?
So as it stands now, there are medias that report on what government want them to report. As a matter of fact, I think that was last year. There has been some the media landscape has changed in Burkina Faso. So I think there has been like a law governing the media. So in 2023, for instance, the military government in Burkina Faso adopted a new law that empower the president to choose the head of the country's media regulatory body. So there's a country's media regulatory body, and so that body is supposed to monitor media activities. So as long as you are a media and that you abide to the rule of of that
the monitoring
law,
body, yes,
exactly, you will not be threatened. But as long as your message is contrary to what the junta want to hear, then you will be threatened. We have registered some arbitrary arrests. More recently, in Burkina Faso, there has been some forced enrollment into the military army for dissident voices. So yeah, it's true.
Sorry, say that again. People were forcefully recruited into the army.
Yes, to join the army. So once you are a dissent voice in Burkina Faso, they can capture you and enroll you in the military. They have passed a test of voluntary enrollment into the military, but in application, it happens that the army can then voluntarily choose who they want to enroll into the army forces.
So does I mean, of course, you're monitoring, so you'd obviously know what to answer. Does this mean that human rights are being abused in Burkina Faso, in Burkinabe, as we speak? Does it also mean that there is no press freedom as we speak in Burkinabe? Is that what you're alluding to?
Yeah, so we can say that, as I think I said it earlier, that since the coming into power of the junta, the first coup d'etat in January 2022, followed by the one in September 2022, there has been a literally like a drastic drop in terms of human rights. You know, someone has to understand the context in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is a country that has a long history with authoritarianism. So it's a country that has not really enjoyed democracy since the liberation in 1990s. The same President Blaise Compaoré ruled on the country for almost 27 years before he was ousted by the population. And then after him came several coups d'etat, among which in 2022, we had 2 coups d'etat the same year. And since then, you can understand that the context in Burkina Faso is really a context where freedom of expression is at threat. We have several organizations out there. We have our sister organization, Media Foundation for West Africa, based in Ghana. They have been reporting consistently on human rights abuse, especially on media. So that's a fact. So the freedom of expression in Burkina Faso is really is in a fragile state, especially more now that the country is under military rule. So it's not the first report. Human Rights Watch has just tried to give a kind of hand information on, based on victims' testimonies. So there are several other abuses happening there. But, the fact that now there is a repression on the media is another, it's not only an abuse of it's not only a threat on right of expression and freedom of expression, but it's also an abuse of the right of good information. Citizens deserve to know, citizens need to know what is happening. So in this time where the military is on power, it is really critical that they should collaborate with media to make sure that the right information is available to the citizens to make themselves accountable also to the citizens.
I love how you talked about accountability, but is there any possibility that the military can never be accountable to the people, especially because of how they took over power? Secondly, does this not in some way give credence to the Human Rights Watch report about, the army carrying out a dastardly act, on several hundreds of people, women and children included, in one day? Does this not also say, because of course, if the government is led by propaganda, it means that of course there are lots of things that will fall through the cracks, and as you said, people need to be informed. But how can they be informed if you seem to be clamping down on the rest of the the media? But how are you and organizations as yours able to appeal to the sensibilities of these junta?
Yes, so organizations like ours, because WADEMOS, West African Democracy Solidarity Network, it's a network of organizations. So it's not just an organization by itself, but it's a network of organizations that promote solidarity among civil society actors and other pro-democratic actors. So you can be a social movement, you can be an individual, an influencer. You are welcome to be part of the West Africa Democracy Solidarity Network. So, the observation that we have made is that most of our countries that are ruled by military are not different from authoritarian states where there is no, enough freedom. Burkina Faso cannot be compared to Senegal, for instance, where recently they had a very good example of, a good openness of civic space. But you have countries like Burkina Faso, like Mali, like Niger, those countries under military junta is clearly countries where freedom of expression is is lacking. So where we see the gap is in terms of if, at the national level, the civic space is restricted, then we can take it up to the regional level. We have, let me say, regional organizations like the ECOWAS. But unfortunately, recently, Burkina Faso decided to leave the ECOWAS together with Mali and Niger. But we still have, at least they still have 1 year before they are totally out. So we still have spaces like the regional spaces where we can make ourselves heard. And, you were also asking whether the human rights watch, if the move of the government is not, kind of
giving credence to,
giving
that
credence
report.
Yeah, so it's kind of very, it's not good. It's not a good move personally from the government, because I think to ban the media who are reporting on that issue reported by the human rights, it means that you certainly have something. Maybe there is a certain truth in that. So, but the target is not the media. The target is not the human rights watch people, but in the report, human rights was appealing for other organizations to support Burkina Faso in rendering justice, to render justice and to kind of process to fair trials after the killings of those victims. So we as civil society, we have to support those initiatives, because victims, innocent people are being killed, and they deserve some justice. They deserve to have some kind of justice. So we as civil society, that's where we stand. And our organization, which is a solidarity organization, doesn't relent efforts in, denouncing, appealing governments, ECOWAS body, African
Mary,
Union.
we'll take a quick break. Let's come back and then we'll talk more about this,
Sure.
okay? Stay with us. Maryann Ngah is joining us from Burkina Faso. Stay with us. It's still Global Review.
Find better off. I be you one play Coruscos. Over 1.5. I be you one bet. Say both seem no go score at all. Yeah, we get better payout. Don't worry, we there for you. Our odd chaburata. In all the feeling show. Oh lo lo, we there for you. Oh, we there for you. You see for bet baba, we win money. Bet baba, cash out today easy. Or bet baba. Welcome to Bet Baba.
Register now on betbaba.ng. Not for people under 18.
It's the 10th edition of the AMVCA, and Super Commando is giving you the energy to fire on. Are you ready to show up and show out? So, whether you're nominated, performing, or just enjoying the action, fire on with your Super Commando energy drink. Fire on at the 10th edition of the Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards on the 11th of May 2024 at Eco Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos. Super Commando energy drink. Fire on.
Nigerian Idol is back!
The stage don't set on a go scream tire. When you hear all the sabi contestants, the new judges, Omawumi, Nice, and Rick Hazani don't prepare. But now you will wait for. Run, go arrange your Go TV. Ready your vote and your voice to hail our superstars. May they shine.
Yes, so watch Nigerian Idol Season 9 from the 21st of April by 7 p.m. on Africa Magic TV. Love it.
What takes a plate of jollof rice to the next level of goodness? Is it when it is cooked with no sizzling cubes for that sumptuous taste? Or when you serve it with correct Nigerian salad, cabbage, carrot, lettuce, and a bit of kidney beans?
It's both. Season your jollof with the rich taste of Knorr cubes and serve with plenty of vegetables. So go ahead and elevate your meals. Today, eat for good.
New Lafarge water shield cement now confirm. Number one waterproof cement for Nigeria. Yeah. Ogbonge cement for waterlogged areas. Number one waterproof cement for Nigeria. Yeah. New Lafarge water shield cement number one. Number one. New Lafarge waterproof cement now confirm. One time. Put full stop for water wahala. With Lafarge water shield cement, water go collect. If water jam house, foundation and basement to call, no shaking. Ogbonge cement for waterlogged areas. Number one waterproof cement for Lafarge, na confirm. Cement, new Lafarge water shield cement na confirm.
Put full stop for water wahala.
Mommy, my teacher said 90% of my brain will develop by the time I am 5.
Really? What else did she say?
She said I need iron in my food for my brain to grow well.
Oh, very true. And that's why I give you Cerelac Junior every day, which provides half of your daily iron needs.
And Cerelac Junior tastes so good.
Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus. It's all good, Mom.
On the Morning Crossfire with me, Kofi Bartels. You have the big names, the most pressing issues, and the sharpest conversations.
He must leave that place of talking into the space of doing.
Nothing that's paying through their nose, and you are telling them after training they can't migrate. I will not be part of those who will give soft landing to these guys who are running the affairs of this country.
People are dying every day. In an hour, people just go in and come out and read out stories to us. Come on, Kofi. We must step beyond the talk. We have the analysis.
Join us as we dissect the headlines, bring you exclusive interviews, and dive deep into the heart of the matter. The big conversations live here.
Join Kofi Bartels on the Morning Crossfire, weekdays 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. only on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Then say health na wealth, but when person they arranging health, can't lose one hand, one leg.
Yeah,
Abina, when you dey hospital, they can't tell you say you must drop heavy money first before they even think of to begin any treatment.
Yeah. But when Avon HMO Tandagidiba with you, you no go dey shout yekba, cause last now all of us need people. Visit avonhealthcare.com now to get Avon Health Plan for you and your people.
Avon HMO, empowering you to live a healthier life.
Who says you can't have it all with one play?
I got that defined boy. You have just won yourself.
Congratulations.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Melitus. One player, don't talk to 2 players because you won 20K.
So now you won yourself 20,000 naira.
My name is Well Done.
Okay, well done. You want to tell you well done? You won yourself 20,000 naira.
With 500 naira, you can play to win big. From 120,000 naira to 190,000 naira daily on Nigeria Info. Go to oneplay.ng and play with 500 naira. And in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. Or dial *347 *880 *3#. Daily on Nigeria Info, 50,000 naira on Morning Crossfire, 60,000 naira on WhatsApp Lagos, 20,000 naira on Sunnyside, and 60,000 naira on Game On. So Lagos, what are you waiting for? The more you play, the better your chances of winning. Remember to dial *347 *880 *3#. Play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18. It's the 10th edition of the AMVCA, and Super Commando is giving you the energy to fire on. Are you ready to show up and show out? So, whether you're nominated, performing, or just enjoying the action, fire on with your Super Commando energy drink. Fire on at the 10th edition of the African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards on the 11th of May 2024 at Eco Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos. Super Commando energy drink. Fire on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Football Fan Festival in Nigeria is back. It's go Goal Fest 2024, featuring exhilarating games, food, comedy, live music by some of the Nigerian musician superstars, and you can watch the UEFA Champions League final on a super huge screen. Goal Fest 2024 will take place on the 1st of June at the Balmoral Convention Center, Idol Palace Hotel, Amadabella Way, Victoria Island, Lagos. Time 12 noon. Limited tickets available. Get your tickets now at www.goalfestnigeria.com or at 267A at Timian Crescent, VI Lagos. Goal Fest 2024 is powered by Femi and the Gang and Football Republic. Proudly refreshed by Pepsi.
Mommy, my teacher said 90% of my brain will develop by the time I am 5.
Really? What else did she say?
She said I need iron in my food for my brain to grow well.
Oh, very true. And that's why I give you Cerelac Junior every day, which provides half of your daily iron needs.
And Cerelac Junior tastes so good.
Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus. It's all good, Mom.
New Lafarge water shield cement now confirm. Number one waterproof cement for Niger. Yeah. Ogbonge cement for waterlogged areas. Number one waterproof cement for Niger. Yeah. New Lafarge water shield cement number one. New Lafarge waterproof cement now confirm. One time. Good for water wahala. With Lafarge water shield cement, water go collect. If water jam house, foundation and basement to call, no shaking. Ogbonge cement for waterlogged areas. Number one waterproof cement for Nigeria. Lafarge, not confirm. Cement, new Lafarge water shield cement, not confirm.
Put full stop for water wahala.
So when you're cooking your delicious meals, don't compromise. Go for gold.
Rich, consistent taste for cooking mouth-watering soups, stews, and jollof. Choose wisely. Choose Gold. Terra Gold Seasoning Cube.
1 cube. Endless possibilities. Terra Gold.
Credible journalism, bridging the gap between people and those in authority. With Hard Facts, you are sure to get only the facts.
Tune in to Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
We're back. It's still Global Review, and this is the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. My guest is still with me. We're still talking about Burkina Faso and what's been happening. Of course, the military junta shutting down and banning foreign media. I hear also today's conversation that even some media, local French media, have also been banned because of their report on the they reported, of course, the gatherings of the Human Rights Watch about the military massacring people, hundreds of them in one day, including women and children. But of course, Marie, my guest, has been telling me, of course, about the high-handedness of the military in Burkina Faso since the military coup and the military takeover, meaning that it could be that some of the contents of the reports by the Human Rights Watch might be right, and there is no free speech in Burkina Faso as we speak. Mari, thank you so much for still sitting in with us. In a few minutes, I know I'm going to let you go so you can go about your business. But is there any hope for an election proper to happen after all of this military takeovers have happened twice in almost 2 years? Is there any hope on the radar that there might be an election for a democratically elected government to take over in Burkina Faso? Or is that something that you people have to pray for?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. And I really like the question because it's very difficult to think of an election, according to the junta calendar. When the junta came into power, they promised to restore democracy and to hold elections this year, July 2024. But as it stands now, there is no update about that schedule, that transition calendar. And more recently, in an interview, Ibrahim Traoré, the head of the junta, was saying that election right now is not a priority because there are other pressing issues like security, like terrorism. So it looks like the more efforts will be put into the fight against terrorism. Maybe that's what explains
But the fight against terrorism, how well has it been? Have they done it so much that you've seen a reduction in the terrorism in Burkina Faso, other than the fact that innocent people were killed?
Yeah, so data shows that since the arrival of the junta, it has gotten worse. The first coup d'etat in 2022 was because of the failure of the previous government to address terrorism and to restore peace. So that's how Colonel Damiba came into power. And then Colonel Damiba didn't even last for 1 year. That another military, Ibrahim Traoré, come still on the same reason that the fight against terrorism is not working. But all this while, we have not really seen we still count death. We still have news of people dying. Right now, Burkina Faso accounts for one of the, in the whole world, if we look at the killings data, Burkina Faso is one of the top countries with the most deaths, from terrorism. So it is really alarming. It's a situation that is really alarming. Apart from maybe the progress that the junta is putting in place in terms of economic development and infrastructure, but the peace and security side is still very, very worrisome. So we as you said, we hope that it's not likely that this year they will hold elections. July is soon coming, and it's at this time that the junta says that election is not a priority. So what is left for us is just hope, as you said.
Well, I've got a message, so let me just read a quick message coming in here in reaction to our conversation. Andose here says, what is happening in Burkina Faso is why I usually display skepticism about the competency of a military regime, especially in Africa. A group of soldiers presenting themselves as liberators will seize power and then get applause from a largely uninformed and poorly educated population. The next thing, they will clamp down on the civil societies and the press, but the condition of the people will hardly improve. Now, university lecturers and journalists who oppose the junta are being arrested and sent to war front. He says, I weep for some of these countries in Africa. And it's just re-echoing some of the things that you've said, people being forced into, the army. I want to quickly take one call. I don't know if I can take that call in 30 seconds. Hello?
Hello, Maryann. Good evening.
Yes, 30 seconds. I have to go.
And I greet your guest. See, the military said that the villagers are 18 terrorists. So the villagers are killing them. Are they the terrorists? That's why I can never support the military. I was thinking that they say France is their problem. Look at what they are doing, shutting everybody down. It's very, very pathetic. It's very, very unacceptable. I was supporting Burkina Faso, but I don't want them again.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for calling. I do appreciate it. Mary, I have to let you go because I know that you have to attend to other things. But Mary Josiane Ngah is the project coordinator for Francophone West Africa with WADEMOS. Thank you so much for coming, Mary. All I can do is also join you to hope for the best for the people of Burkina Faso, that things will turn around for you sometime soon, and maybe we'll be hearing of an election in the future.
Thank you also for having me. It was a really insightful conversation, and it's important that the media also continues working, if not inside Burkina Faso, but outside like you are already doing. So you are doing also a good job.
Thank you.
So keep that up.
Thank you so much, Mary, for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, and hopefully we can get you back soon on the show.
Right.
Thank you. All right. Well, that's it on Global Review. And today we are in Burkina Faso. Tomorrow, rather next week, we'll be going to Togo to talk about the Nyasimbe dynasty of 57 years. They've been sitting on that seat for 57 years. But before that, let's talk about some money. You got money for me, honey? Quickly. You have 1 minute to sell me that idea.
How to get money.
How to make money.
For you.
Already.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.